So I want to talk to you about your first day back on the job. What's going through your mind?
It was nice. I slept good the night before, and I woke up, and I believed that it was a new day for a new beginning of a new year to start another good portion of my life, and kind of leave back what happened to me in the past.
I mean, that was just over 2 years ago. I mean, did you ever think this day would come?
We had some minor setbacks in my medical treatments, but eventually, through persistence and then just watching my B partners falling in and taking over in my absence and stepping up despite knowing that physical harm and other things could happen to them, and still being diligent in their efforts, inspired me to do more, to be more, and to not let myself not come back.
Let's talk about 2 years ago. I mean, do you remember that day?
Vividly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience and having been shot twice?
Yeah, when the incident happened, it seemed very fast. I felt each bullet except for the one on my side. When I fell down and hit the ground, I thought I actually got punched from the side. It happened so fast. And I didn't notice anything until I got up, and I noticed a fountain of blood was pouring out of my face. And then I realized that I probably should get something to stop the bleeding. So I reached into my pocket where I usually keep a handkerchief just for emergencies, and I crammed it in my face to stop the bleeding. And I started to kind of lean back against my car, and I started choking on my own blood. And then once I got up and I moved the handkerchief in my mouth, it was actually just drenched with blood. I was able to open my passage, and then I had to basically vomit up some of the teeth that exploded in my face. And then once I got my airway clear, I just leaned over and let the blood drain out and got behind cover until my partners were able to pull up and then subdue the subject.
When that's happening, I mean, you essentially went into survival mode, but what's going through your mind at that point?
If I knew I was losing blood fast, and if I lost a lot of blood, I was going to become unconscious and most likely die. I thought to myself, the best thing to do is to stay calm as I possibly could, control my breathing, control my pulse. Controlling my pulse will lower my repetitions of my heart to pump the blood out of my open wounds.
And why was it so important to you to survive that moment?
I wanted to get back home to my family. I got 3 kids, and I want to walk my daughter down the aisle. I want to see my kids grow up to be the good men that me and my wife have raised them to be. And I just didn't think I was ready.
What is your wife's name?
Christine.
Christine. And your children?
David, Trevor, and Alexis.
Okay. How old are they?
Oh gosh, they're similar apart. David's 13, Alexis is 8, and Trevor's 10.
Going home to them, what was that like for you?
It was good. They saw me once in the hospital. I didn't want them to see me until I had most of my tubes, the majority of the tubes taken out of me until I looked more human. I didn't want to scare them. And they saw me when I was basically down to just a couple medical devices, and then they knew I was okay. And then when I was finally released to the hospital and got home, they seemed to do a lot better and understand that, hey, sometimes bad things, accidents happen, but they're doing very well, considering.
And then, I mean, coming back to work, what's that to you? I mean, were you eyeing this day since you were out?
It was my focus. I told the sheriff that if I was physically able to, that I promised to give my word that I would return. And after all the things I've been through with the surgeries and bone grafts and whatnot to get me up to speed, I got a lot of downtime. And the most painful thing was not the injuries that I received. It was just not having a life without purpose outside of my family. To have something to get up in the morning to go to drive you to do better, to go out and help somebody else. It gives you personal meaning and personal value. And that was missing from my life while I was at home trying to recoup, not isolate my injuries until they could heal. And that was probably the hardest part of the whole process.
Why is a life of service so important to you?
But I think our purpose in life is to serve something bigger than ourselves, to help our fellow man, to help someone when they're on that teeter-totter of going one way or another in life. We could be that last rung on the ladder to help that person get either to a positive step in their life or be the difference of them taking a different step. And being there probably is the most important thing possible.
Let's talk about your surgeries. How many did you have?
I stopped counting after 6.
Wow. And you said there were difficulties.
Yeah, I had the bullet that was removed from my face. Ended up being a couple millimeters from my artery. And then I had one that went through my arm as I was firing the weapon, went through my armpit underneath my vest and almost popped out my back, and that got infected. And over a couple months, they thought it was inside my rib cage and not outside my rib cage. So it built basically an infection, and they lanced it and let it to breathe, and it just wouldn't heal. And then finally I ended up having to have a surgeon go in and cut the bullet out again. And that just took a while, but it's fine now.
Now, this all started because of a traffic stop. I mean, what goes through your mind? Do you think about that person that was involved?
I used to. Probably the start of things, like when I try to explain it all, wrap my head around it. But then I realized that some things aren't up for us to understand. There's dangers in life. You just don't know when they're going to be. But in law enforcement, you know that each traffic stop has the potential to be dangerous. Each contact had aggravated persons, they have issues. There's potential danger everywhere.
And now that that's behind you, what's next for you?
Just begin servicing my community and begin to repay a debt of gratitude to my community, to my family, and to everyone else who basically helped me get to where I am today. And then just continue doing service. Nothing grand.
How did the community make sure you were on your road to recovery?
Oh, I got letters in the hospital. People I had visited did come to the hospital and visited me. People I've arrested. It was surreal. And sometimes doing this job, you don't get to see that side of things. And it was nice to see how much caring was actually out where I work. And I think that went a long way to me wanting to get better.
I'm sorry, did you say even people you've arrested?
Yeah.
Visited you?
Visited, yeah, or tried to visit, and they went away. They were escorted away, but they still came by to say, I got cards from people we've had reports on and wishing me to get well.
What was that to you, knowing that they were rooting for you?
That our job that I do isn't personal, but our major intent is to help, to be there to help others. And that there's a side of the job we must do, but it's never directed personally at that person.
Yeah. And, anything else you want to say just in terms of, how today went? I mean, did you make any stops? Did you?
Today was mostly just getting my stuff ready back to when I transition by myself next week. We basically my computer stuff up, just other equipment issues, getting my vehicle issued. Day before yesterday, we went on a couple calls and did our normal routine stuff. I've been asking to give me more calls from the dispatch just to get back into the sync of things and then finding the normal ebb and flow of it.
And you mentioned getting your badge back.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that moment.
Yes, I had most of my equipment that I carried was in our evidence system, and it was released from our evidence technician. And I got my badge back, and it had dry blood on it that was missed. My partners did the best to clean it off, but there was still some blood caked in underneath the seal. And so I was cleaning that with a needle just to get the fine details out, and so I could start polishing it for work. And I said it helped me realize the importance of getting back to work, because like I said, my coworkers saw me shot up. They heard about it, they read about it, and the next day they still went back to work to do the same job that I did, knowing full well that the same kind of injuries or even more death could face them, and they still went to do the job, and that truly inspired me to do more.
seeing that speck of blood, I mean, did that cause any fear to run through your mind?
I think there's a healthy dose of fear in the job we do because of the dangers we know we can inevitably meet or read about or heard about from previous encounters. But on the same token, I think every woman and man that I've seen serve under the badge has basically indirectly agreed to be shedding their blood and their sweat and their life to keep the communities that they serve safe. So it's kind of like an unwritten rule, I would think.
Anything else you want to say?
Just I love my wife, and I wanted to thank her for all her support and helping me get through this.
Very nice. And then you said next week you're going to start taking all the calls?
Oh, I took him, I started yesterday. I said, load me up, because no sooner than better.